What's going on, people? Welcome back to the live match reaction. Palace 1, Southampton 0. We win once again at home without being a goal down, so that's a positive. There's lots of positives to take from this game. As always, we want to hear from you, so we'll be posting a link where you can join us live and have your say via audio or video. And if you just want to leave your comment, feel free to do that as well. We'll be reading them out throughout the show. Patrick, T, we're back here once again. Home win. Great. But let's start off with UT because we're just talking about it off air. Nice win at home. Started off positively. It's good to be one goal up and not trying to chase the game. What did you make of the game throughout the 90 minutes of it? Because I thought like it was a solid 9 minutes, even though they created chances in the second half and maybe wasn't as good as we were in the first half in the second half. But I wasn't too displeased with the whole performance.
I gotta say, solid performance overall as well. I mean, very much outplayed them in the first half. I mean, kind of unlucky to not get more than one goal, to be completely honest with you. Second half, definitely weren't as attacking, but did what we had to do to see out the match. Got to be thankful for guys like Vicente for stepping up and making the necessary saves, because it could have been a very different game had he not had he put a foot wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like he played great for us. So 3 points, clean sheet, move forward. Not too up, not too down. Keep it level, move forward.
Patrick, it makes such a difference when you actually get the first goal. Instead of chasing for the game, you set the tone for the game. You start fast. Right. And what I loved about, so look, before we go into this game more detail, we spoke about in the match preview, and I said I'm not looking that much forward into this game. I want to see what happens. But today there was an actual difference. I know we went at home and we beat Wolves at home and Leeds at home, but that first half, that intensity that we didn't see away from home at Everton or even in the wins against Leeds and Wolves, it was a positive move. And that was one difference that I saw today, despite the win. We started off strong rather than going into games. And that first goal set the tone. And we could have got a few more goals in that first half due to how we played. And that's all down to intensity and our pressing from the forwards.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, seeing the lineup, wasn't thrilled with the midfield three, but understood why we did it. And people want to complain about, why is he playing Luke or why is he playing Schlupp? We have no choice. Very clearly, he had the system that he wants to play. Play for Doucouré, who apparently is sick or injured. Hughes was not ready for 90 minutes, neither was Gyro. So the other only option is Schlupp. And you have Eze, so that's fine. So first half, I thought the team really, you're absolutely right, D. The pressing was much better. Obviously, Vieira got into them and said, listen, we cannot keep starting games slowly. So got into them. The start was much better. Combination play between Wilf and Olise and Eze was very, very good in the beginning. Edouard with a really good finish. Probably could have had a second had he not been offside. The flick on by Olise was offside. But again, the first half was very good. Second half, we dropped off. But you expect the Southampton to increase their intensity, which they did, and get back into the match. Yep. Having said that, credit to Vieira. Some of the subs were a bit strange, but the subs that he made, they worked. Gyro, Hughes, Ayew all came on. Someone mentioned in the broadcast, by the way, Hughes is very good at helping to manage out a game. He's very, very smart in how he plays and what he does. The tackles that he makes, the fouls that he takes, that he plays is very good. So we saw it a game, which is very rare for us. Brentford is an example of time where we've given up late goals. So credit to the team, man. Listen, I'm not too up, I'm not too down. I'm happy we won. We needed the win. We're back to 10th. But between me and you, I cannot wait for this break to come up because honestly, it's wearing me down. It's up, down, up, down. I'm just happy for the win. 2 more weeks. I love
to say between me and you, there's going to be so many other people watching this, so it's clearly not between me and you.
Me, you, and the hundreds. Between me and
wait. Between us in the chat.
Me in the chat. So we got Soma 007 in the chat, Seki Monkey Base in the chat, Lil Moira 8 in the chat, Jason Babin. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and all that good stuff, please.
Yeah, but look, for me, I said it before the game. This was a game where I wasn't too sure if he was going to win. That Everton game literally just destroyed me. But we managed to get the job done. But for me, of course, we're going to talk about this game in more detail. That West Ham game is bigger than this game because we've seen it. We won games at home. But, of course, there's a difference. We started off strongly in this game. But if we go against West Ham and you have another shocking performance or it's a defeat or whatever it is, this game means nothing to me because it's the same old Palace. But Palace now is a good step. West Ham away from home is not going to be easy, but it's still a winnable game. They're not that good this season. They are still a good, decent side. But look, that's what matters to me. This is a great win. at home. I feel like throughout the 90 minutes, I don't know about you guys, but throughout the 9 minutes, apart from the Villa game, I felt like it was the best 90-minute performance that we've had in a long time. Wolves, yes, we beat them, but the first half wasn't as great. Leeds, first half was horrendous to a certain extent. We managed to do a comeback and we didn't concede. We kept a clean sheet in this game. I mean, we didn't keep a clean sheet in our previous 2 home games. And I was looking through it. I think after Villa, this is our second best performance. So from that standpoint, is an improvement there. But let's talk about the starting 11, the midfield. Let's start off with there. There's no point talking about other positions because midfield was the most talking point. Jeffrey Schlupp, Luca, Eze. So Patrick already spoke about it, saying that Hughes couldn't have started due to COVID and injuries. But for you, was you worried going into this game with that midfield three? Be honest.
I think right now where we stand with the state of our midfield, you're worried going into every match just because number one, we're not sure who we're going to see, but even when we do see that, we're not sure exactly how well it's going to work. You know what I mean? So, I mean, everybody knows right now that that midfield is our weak spot right now. So going into matches, I guess naturally you're a little bit nervous, especially when majority of us expected to see Decore back in there. And when Linus came out, he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So I think that in itself puts out an air of worry. But I was actually happy with how they performed. And I don't think we could have done much more as far as the selection is concerned. I mean, Hughes coming off of COVID and for the fact that even before COVID, he hadn't played very much at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you can just throw him in there and expect him to start, play well, and play for, you know, an extended amount of minutes. So I think we used him correctly in coming off of the bench today, but I was pleased with things, honestly.
So, Patrick, we were talking about it, well, not really, but I saw your comments about giving the credit to the midfield because people, as we're seeing in the comment section, people are actually happy with a certain extent to Luca and Schlupp's performances. I'm seeing like they've had okay performances. But for me, this might sound a bit controversial. I don't think we saw in the second half, Luca looked a bit gassed, and that's down to our pressing. I feel like the reason why they had a decent performance is because of our pressing. They didn't have that many situations defensively, especially in the first half, where there had to be the player to making the tackle or not. We were very good with our pressing. In the second half, you saw Southampton get through a bit more, and we saw bit more, I don't know if this is harsh, but a bit more liability to the game that we was worried about at the start of the game regarding Luca and not Schlupp, because I feel like Schlupp had it, but Luca especially, you know, he was getting a bit tired. But that pressing in the first half was very good, and that's what helped the midfield. And I feel like if it is Luca and Schlupp starting, which I don't think it will be when Decore is back, we have to be pressing from the front because like that, it helps the whole team defensively and Woody as well, which we'll talk about later on in the show.
I understand what you're saying, D, but you know, Tina spoke earlier. I think what Luke was asked to do, he did very well today. Perfect. He's never going to be perfect, but for what he had to do, I thought he got rid of the ball quicker. He looking at the stats, he had 4 to 5 ground duels won, 4 to 6 aerial duels won, 3 to 4 tackles won. He tackled well defensively on that Mitchell mistake, which could have cost us big time.
Could have cost us big.
Who makes the block? It was Luca. So no, he was not spectacular. But as someone said in the chat, here it is. I've put Nate's quote here. And you just have to run. But Luca was much better this game. It wouldn't be past the fans. They weren't trying to find negatives from a win. So I get it. I understand that. But today, he was on an issue. Yes, he was not spectacular, but he played the game he had to play. And again, because of our limited resources, we can go into all you want. Me and you have these weekly shows, buddy. We're talking about transfer room, what we did do in the last window. We have what we have right now. Going forward, I think is that now that Gyro and Luke and Hughes have got some possibility now more that they'll play against West Ham and against Bournemouth or Newcastle. So now we have more options and praying, fingers crossed, Decore is back. But again, I'm happy with the win. I'm happy with the performance of the team overall. Guaita was excellent. We can talk about it during our rating show later on. Some of the players defensively were very, very good, and the clean sheet was necessary. And again, Edward had a fantastic finish. Let's just move on, man. Take the positive out of it.
Yeah, for me, Decore still has to come back as good as.
Oh, absolutely,
absolutely. I mean, Luca
still has to.
Yeah, you got to keep it in perspective. Luca did a great job as a fill-in,
of course,
central defensive midfielder.
Right.
Like, we understand that it's not like he's putting in performances to supplant Decore at all. No way.
Yeah. But look, the lines are open now. If you want to join us and have your say via audio or video, you can click on the pinned comment as well. So yes, we'll be bringing on people. And firstly, we'll be bringing on Henry. Henry, nice win at home. Palace 1, Southampton 0. What did you make of the game?
Yeah.
Much more better than the Everton game anyways.
Yeah, they're hugely better than the Everton game. But I mean, it was weird to see us actually start better in the first half than in second, because usually it's the other way around. But I mean, it's a very important win. We needed to get 3 points. It's our last home game before the World Cup. I think you got to give a lot of credit to Luca today, because I thought he actually did really well. And I'm not going to lie, I was kind of dreading it when I saw him in the starting lineup before the game. I was sort of like, where's Decore? You should have, but you got to give credit to him. I mean, like you guys have just said, I mean, he wasn't perfect. He did make some mistakes, but you got to be realistic. And I think he did a good job today. And I think we still gave away few too many chances in that second half and got a bit lucky. But Vicente bailed us out of trouble with some good saves.
Yeah, I agree. I think in the second half, I understand that Southampton, I think we were very good in the first half. In the second half, when Southampton got into the game a bit more, it looked maybe if we had like an average first half, it would look a bit more balanced. But because we were so good in the first half, in the second half, we just didn't match it. It made us look maybe worse than we actually were. I don't think we were that bad in the second half. We still create chances in the second half.
No, I don't think we were that bad in terms of like possession wise and what we did on the ball. I think it was just how much we dropped off and backed off and gave Southampton too much time and space. And, on another day it could have been costly, but thankfully it wasn't. And, it's 3 points. What can you say? I mean, it's a really good win, but I don't want to like put it down on the win, but I do also want to acknowledge that we could have been defensively stronger as well. And, a bit more smart on the ball.
I have a point to make. I noticed that last week was the first time in a while that Southampton went to 3 at the back. It did it again today. Now, how do you guys feel about how that might have helped us? I think if they'd gone 4 in the back, they'd have probably been a little bit more dangerous. Usually go 4-4-2 for to pack the midfield more. What do you guys think about their change to the 3 in the back system today? That they used
I think it kind of helped us. I thought, because it was weird because like, did you notice that Southampton, whenever they had a goal kick, like one of their centre backs was taking it, and then they were like, I was like, what's going on there? And then they were trying to sort of do what we do, which is play it across the back and then go to midfield. But I don't think they were as good at us at doing that.
The biggest problem with them playing a back 3 was the fact that playing a back 3, a lot of times it's like, okay, we want to try to match them man for man against the front line, but you can't put Leonco against Zaha. You can't
against Zaha, yeah.
Like, I think that was the worst decision right there. Like,
Wilf pretty much destroyed him.
Yeah. Henry, what do you think about Wilf's performance out wide? Because we've spoken about it a few times here. He struggled against James Coleman last time around. Today, he seemed more up for it. He managed to beat his player and actually what Wilf does best. That was a massive positive, especially going into the West Ham game, which is going to be another difficult opponent.
Yeah, I think Wilf had more joy today on that side. I mean, I don't remember many times where he absolutely rinsed the defense, apart from like one where he did those step overs and crossed it in, but it didn't quite work out. But I mean, he is being a little bit slow sometimes, a little bit like not aware of people from behind coming in to tackle him. But
I know exactly which play you're talking about.
But I think he did really well, and up front as well. When he moved up front, like, to be honest, like the whoever it was who was grabbing hold of his shirt was like, that kind of denied him a lot of. I think he could have easily been through otherwise, and he might have scored. So I think he did well. Obviously not perfect, but he still did really good.
So there's a comment here from Looney. It says 1 more win, we're sitting at top 8. Now I'm not saying we're pushing into that, but the next game against West Ham is massive.
Yeah, it's big.
We have wins at home, and then away from home, it just all goes down, and we just seem to lose it.
I mean,
so
the positive thing is, I mean, the first thing I want to say is we've got 3 home wins in a row now, so that's brilliant. Right. I don't remember the last. I mean, I do remember the last time we did that. I think that was maybe a few seasons back, but. So that's great. But we do need to improve our away form, because right now our away form is a bit concerning. But we just need to sort of, even if we can just play well, I think we need to play better than today against West Ham, because they're a dangerous team, especially at home. But you know, we just we gotta go there and you know, just be brave on the ball, be defensively strong, and if we do that, we've got a chance. But
Do you all take a point away at West Ham?
Have
if you're asking me right
have
now,
to take that.
yes, I would,
You
because
have to, you have to.
today, right, I was just so relieved that we got through, because I was watching it and I was like, if we don't win this game, West Ham next, then Forest away. I think there's a League Cup game in between, isn't there, as well? But yeah, so really, really big win today for us, and we're in the top 10 again. Hopefully we can actually stay there for a bit.
Exactly. We'll see. The West Ham game is massive for me and everyone as well. We've got
Yeah.
to prove now. After
We need to
we won
start
at home,
stringing
but
some.
now we have to be way more consistent performances. So
Listen,
we'll see how we do against.
if we beat West Ham, I'm gonna be jumping around my living room, because we'd have finally won 2 games in a row.
Exactly. That's trust me, it won't only be you that's jumping around. But Henry, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Have a
Appreciate
good
it,
one.
brother.
Take care. That was Henry. Next up, we got Chris and Elena. Oh, did I say it wrong? Sorry.
I'm Elena.
Elena.
Okay.
We got our first couple. We got our first couple.
Palace 1, Southampton 0. What do you guys make of it?
I'm not a big football expert. I just like football a lot. So I may have my small, I'm just really happy for the result. Yeah, you say that the game was not as good as it might be expected to be, but I totally agree with Henry. We have 3 points and the biggest thing. And I really like the game. I like the first period. So we were strong, we were determined, and we dominated so clearly that I think if it were not for some kind of I don't know. If it were possible, I think we could have scored like 2 or 3 or 4 times. But yeah, we scored once and it's good. The second time it was a bit chaotic. So it was like, in my opinion, it was nobody's ball. It was nobody's dominance. And it's really good that we stood, and there was no equalizer, and we did our best. But really, it is really difficult to say how the game went in the second period, because it was a kind of chaos.
Yeah.
But I'm just really happy with the result, and I think Chris may give some more expertise.
No, I don't think so.
I think you summed up perfectly. I mean, for someone who doesn't really watch Palace or football like that, I believe you know, it was a perfect summary. Like you talk more sense than Patrick here.
Now, you can say that. It had to be me, right? I admit that you took less than Elena, I admit you did a great job. I agree. Very good job. Better than D.
Yeah.
But no, we got the win, and that's the thing in these. I don't know if you can call it 6-point battles, but the teams around us, we're doing business at home. I can't say that I've been convinced every time. There's worrying moments every time. We're still learning and developing, but yeah, the right idea. Like the subs were a bit risky, but just block up the midfield and just try and control them. That they had their right winger look pretty handy. I thought he was going to create something, but luckily we had enough players out there to
the kid
disrupt him.
Yeah,
he was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, overall, it's a massive win at home. And I felt like the fast start to the game was key. I mean, it's for once we actually won a game where we don't have to chase the game from behind. And I feel like how we started with the intensity, especially in the first half, we kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. And it was actually an improvement there. I mean, we won games at home, but we haven't seen fast starts for quite a while now.
No, it's nice to that way around. That's because I think I was surprised that the Saints fans were saying in one of the previews that they keep starting slowly, so it was a good time to seize it and actually us have the initiative for once. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And second half, and there's a few players I want to actually talk to you about as well, Chris. Of course, we didn't match it as much as the first half, but I don't think it was. I know Vicente made some good saves, but I don't think it was a horrible second half. We still had one or two moments where if we were a bit better going forward and if we made the right pass, then we could have potentially got another goal or clear-cut chance. So I don't think it was that bad if you consider everything together. But defensively, we kept the clean sheet, but the right back, Joe Ward, we talk about him a lot in terms of his defensive mistakes. Today, he actually had a very solid game. And I don't know about you, but I felt like with him and Luka and Schlupp, especially in the first half, but Wardy carried it to the second half, it was the pressing. He didn't let his opponent have much time on the ball to run onto him. And I feel like it helped them massively because throughout the game, Wardy was always stepping up and not allowing the opponent to get the ball and turn around. And I think that was a key because we've seen it many times. The opponent, whenever an opponent gets the ball and runs at him, he just doesn't have the pace. But when he didn't allow that to happen, he had a solid game. I feel like that should be the approach going forward with Wardy.
Yeah, it's good. I know Klein was on the bench, so he might be back as another option soon, or to help Mitchell out if he's still injured. He could play left back. But yeah, Ward was I think from the off, as you see, he was very focused, probably because he has his Pompey roots and his Bournemouth days, so he didn't want to embarrass himself against that lot. So
good point. Yeah, it's birthday today too.
And also Edward, another goal. It's good. He's finally getting the consistency. He's getting the minutes and he's getting the goals. He's doing everything right. Overall solid performance from him today, even apart from the goal. He's getting this link-up play, especially with the likes of Wilf and the midfielders. It's growing. Like I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. He's doing more than maybe what we expect sometimes from a striker. And it's good. He's getting the goals and he's being involved with the link-up play.
Yeah, my only concern about him is sometimes he's got the kind of one-on-one situation. He doesn't just like let go. He doesn't have the explosive pace. But as we've always said, that'd be the third option. If we get someone on loan or someone in next summer, just someone with pace to burn, and then we've got all three types of forward really.
Yeah, look, with him, I feel like that part of his game, I 100% agree. Sometimes his decision making, especially when he's running at defenders, it can be a bit better. But then again, I was looking at today, especially to the touchline, Vieira got annoyed with Eze a lot as well for a few things today, which was quite interesting, and with Will. So I don't know. Look, he gets into more chances, of course, as a striker running at defenders. But, you know, there are other players also that could do better with the final pass. And that sometimes lets us down. But as we grow as a team, you expect them passes and them decisions to be more on point. But now looking ahead to the West Ham game, now we're back in the same situation. A win at home, got another away game coming up. It's not going to be easy. But based on what you've seen today, especially being one goal up and rather than not chasing the game, are you a bit more optimistic that we can get a result against West Ham?
Yeah, it's a shame that they've qualified so easily for next round. I was hoping they'd be distracted on Thursday, but they've got nothing to play for. Yeah. What's the score going to be against West Ham?
Okay.
You're not predicting a win?
I think it would be 2-1.
There you go.
2-1 Palace. We'll take that. What about you, Chris?
Of course.
I'd like to make you happy until we're going to win 2 on a trot, but I don't think we will. And I say a score draw. Good for the pools if it still exists. 1-1.
Yeah.
Well, as long as we have a solid performance, as long as it's not something like we saw against Everton, then I feel like a point wouldn't be the worst result. But then, you know, let's see what happens in terms of performances. Hopefully we do get a win because back-to-back wins is very rare. It doesn't happen. And we need to turn the corner around sometime soon if we want to push up the table rather than one step forward, one step back constantly. So let's see what happens. Patrick, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I have a question for Elena. Who are CSK playing today?
Locomotive.
How are they doing in the table this season? How are they doing this season?
So basically not as good as I want them to.
Okay,
but,
like Palace?
yeah, very, very inconsistent, I may say. Again, it is, I think a week or two ago, we just lost to a very, very small team like called Himki. It was like new 2 or new 3. So it was a kind of, I just can't explain what happened, you know?
Right.
So we were just not playing. And it happens quite often this season, and it happened last season, and it still happens now. But still, I think, I don't know how it goes today, because now we have a break, halftime, and we are winning now. And if we win, I think we stay at like fifth position, maybe fourth, maybe sixth.
Okay.
So depending on the teams, but it's not that bad, but it is not the top, unfortunately.
Good luck to them this season.
Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
All right, then. Thank you guys for coming on.
Take care. Thank you.
Cheers.
Appreciate
Take
it.
care. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Hello.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Take care. Thank you.
Is CSK Moscow, is that the team that the one that the striker that we were looking at for so long were rumored with plays for?
Yeah,
Say it.
Shalom.
Say it. Go on.
Yeah,
I want
Shalom.
Shalom. Say it.
Yeah, he's so over.
I just remember seeing all that stuff about him. That's the dude. That's the team. Okay.
I didn't want to mention
Exactly.
it though to her, but yeah.
Yeah, if you guys want to join us and have your say, maybe with your dog or cat, we can go differently as well. We can go couples, bring on your pets.
That was a
bring
great
on
call, by
everyone.
the way. Thanks.
Yeah,
to,
that was great.
Chris
Cool.
Lane. That was
That's
very
very
good.
cool.
Yeah,
Let's
that was
change
great.
it up. Let's change it up.
Not a serious one.
I really appreciate the call there. We're gonna bring on Nate in just a second, but just quickly, this comment by Vieira. Still have an awful lot to improve. Product is not there yet. The belief was more on their side than our side. That's interesting.
That's fair. Very fair.
That's
Well,
after winning that game, it's very on. Look, we
Listen.
still got a lot of room for improvement. Especially
I mean, that's the
in
thing.
our-
Yeah, you want to
But it
push
wasn't
those guys
bad.
to improve because
Right.
we have to play better against West Ham than we did today in order to get a result.
Right.
Like-
So the thing is, man, we know that we
So
didn't play
I can
well
fully
last.
understand that.
Right. And the thing about Vieira is that he doesn't sugarcoat it, man. He's honest, man. If you don't play well, we don't play well. If he plays well, he tells them to play well. He doesn't try to like big up the players just to keep their confidence up. Let them
Right.
know. And I'm sure it's the same thing in the changing room, man. Let them know that it wasn't good enough. And today it was okay. I mean, we got the win.
then again,
we moved.
Look, then again, I feel like Vieira's saying this like he has all of his players available. Like he generally expects his team to play better. But when you look on paper as a fan, you
Yeah.
can see the
right.
Decore wasn't
You see
there.
they didn't have
We're
a-
still
Yep.
missing another midfielder. So overall, if we put it into context, I feel like he wasn't as bad. But if we had all the players available, if we had two midfielders such as Decore and another midfielder that we signed, and we play like that, especially in the second half, then fair enough. But
Right.
if you're the manager, you still expect more.
Do what
from
you
your
can
players,
do
and I do
with what you
understand
have.
that, exactly.
Exactly.
Let me
But
let me
for
ask
me as
y'all.
a fan, yeah.
Let me ask y'all opinion on this feeling, and this is how I feel, and I'm wondering if this is kind of synonymous with some of you as well. Getting 3 points without Decore felt today like getting 3 points without Zaha
That
did
will
like
Yeah,
three
it was
years
massive.
ago,
agree.
It was
4 years ago.
massive. That's what I'm
Like
saying, it was
that's
massive.
how like when you went like with the state of our midfield right now
It's a great
compared
point.
to the state of our attack then, not having a guy like Decore in there but still getting 3 points, it feels the same way. Like
Yeah,
No,
I agree. I agree. Look,
Yeah.
even before the game started, we had Eze, Elise, Zaha, Gehi, Anderson all starting, and there was a
Right.
meltdown
There's
due
enough
to
players.
one player.
There's enough players in there.
There was a
Right.
meltdown due to
there's
one
a lot
player,
of
which
quality,
shows
there's a
how
lot of
big
quality in
Decore
that
is.
squad. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but it shows how big Decore is, and hopefully we're getting back sooner rather than later. Cool, we won the game today, but then again, facing West Ham away from home, Decore will be needed. Like
Phantom did say
wouldn't
here
always
that
be like
that Decore's injury is not a serious one. That's
Awesome.
what Vieira said.
That's
So
great.
that's good.
Good to
That's
hear.
great.
That's
That's good
probably
to
that's
hear.
probably
Thank
the
you
best
for that.
news today.
Thank
Exactly.
you, Phantom Z.
But look, let's bring on Nate. He's been waiting for a while. Nate, Palace 1, Southampton 0. Much better from the Everton game.
What a difference a weekend makes. Last weekend we were getting relegated and all of that kind of Nigelitis thing you see on Twitter. The second we lose, we're getting relegated. It's like,
Yep.
wait a minute, is Roy Hodgson still our manager? Because this was Roy talk. I mean, look, you guys have hit the nail on the head. We won without Decore. It does feel like we won without Zaha. Today, was it vintage? Were we amazing? In the first half, we could have been 4-0 up. Second half, it could have been 4-all.
Mhm.
White has pulled off save after save to keep us ahead in the game. All this Lucas slander has to be put in the bin for today because he was one of the best players on the pitch for us. He wasn't vintage Luca from seasons past, but today, even I, who have a massive agenda with a lot of our players, had to go, do you know what? Fair play. He smashed it. I don't like being, I've always said, we want to be proven wrong as fans, not proven right.
Yeah.
When players are playing badly, you want to see them prove you wrong. You don't want to be saying, I told you he was crap. I told you he was crap. None of you were listening. You were like, well, wait a minute, hold on. No, we know there's a player in there. But today, we didn't have Decore. Our attack looked a little bit, somewhat disjointed a fair bit because Edward was overthinking the shots. Elise and Eze could make up their mind. Are they passing? Do they go? Do they not? Do they stay? Do they not? But listen, 1-0 win, 3 points, clean sheet, first clean sheet at home this season, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that right? It might be.
I'm fairly certain we haven't kept a clean sheet at home this season.
That's good to know.
And plus, we went a goal up as well. And Nate, you spoke about it. You spoke about the first half briefly there, but what a difference it makes when you're actually 1 goal up rather than just chasing the game. I know we can chase the game. I know we can do the comeback stuff, but we just set the tone. We set the tone with that fast start. And that 45 minutes cool in the second half, Southampton were better than they were in the first half. But because of the first goal, and as you said, we could have scored a few more chances, even in the second half. But that fast starts, that's what we want to see now. We first of all was complaining about late minute goals, but now that's done. But now it was that first half starts. But in this game, it was actually a solid start, and we didn't concede. We kept the clean sheet as well. That's a massive positive for me.
Yeah, 100% D. And look, I say it all the time over on our channel. Charity Professional Football Club. I was waiting for that 1 goal a season from Shea Adams that he never scores against any other team. And I was thinking, here we go. It's going to happen any second now.
He was trying for it.
Do you know what I mean? So I was thinking, right, listen, I understand a lot of people went into this game not sure were the players going to respond. Obviously, we had an absolute daymare on Merseyside, got absolutely peppered by Everton. But I was thinking at it and I was looking at it going, all we want to see from these players is a response. If we get beat by Southampton, fair play. But I just want the team to show us that they care.
Exactly.
Because it didn't look like the fans who went up there, they didn't get what they should have got, which is bare minimum an apology from the players to say, listen, we owe you a performance from that horror show up at Everton. Now, naturally, because we've won today, the pressure to get results either against West Ham or Forest is off. But we still want to be getting results before we go away for the World Cup, because you're still thinking, well, hang on a minute, 2 games to go, both of them away from home. It's good to get our last home game a win with a clean sheet, because that's a massive momentum boost. But if you'd have said to me, the last 12 available, we take 7 points out of 12, I'd have bitten your hand off. Obviously the one that sticks out apart from the Everton game is the Leicester result, where I won't lie, we probably were lucky not to lose that one. But look, it's Crystal Palace. It's never easy. If it was easy, we'd have won 600 million league titles by now and all that sort of thing. But look, Palace take years off your life. No matter when we're good, we're crap, we're this, we're that, whatever it is. There's always going to be something to talk about. And it's one of those things where, don't get me wrong, we weren't amazing today. Didn't need to be. Got the goal, got the 3 points, clean sheet. Everybody's going home happy, apart from the Southampton fans. But judging by the state of their haircuts, they've all got the same barber in Southampton. Because that crowd outside the away pub is just, man, what's going on there?
They dropping bombs.
Yeah, look. I think what's important about today's game is people talk about performance. It wasn't the greatest. Yeah, 100% agree. But with the players that we got out there, I feel like that's the best we could potentially get, especially with the midfield.
Don't get me wrong. You're 100% right. But what I keep saying to people is, it's not how you win that matters. It's that you win.
It's the fact it's that you win. It's
you know
that
what I mean?
you win. Because there's plenty of times. There's plenty of times these top 4 teams, they have ugly games. A lot of times they have ugly games against us, and somehow they pull it out. And nobody says anything about it later on in the season. It's just the fact that
Arsenal at home and Chelsea at home.
3 points.
Arsenal and Chelsea at home, they were by no means all over us. We had moments in that game we could have got something from it. We were just on the wrong end of the game. Yep. So you look at it and think, right, today was a sweaty win. It wasn't great, but listen, if you get the 3 points, don't complain. If you don't get the 3 points, then there's a problem.
That is the mark of a great team. Is knowing how to win in different ways.
And
sometimes you got to win ugly.
Before I shoot off for Ron, can I just ask one question? Where was James Ward-Prowse today? Has anybody seen him?
Question for D. Ask D's favorite player. Nate, ask him again. How was he today?
Sorry. No. Genuinely, this is a missing persons announcement. Has anyone seen James Ward-Prowse? He was last seen in Mark Gay's back pocket.
Yeah, didn't see him. Not today.
He was saying that.
Yeah, it was. Look, we done considering our midfield as well. You'd expect him to shine, because we didn't even have Decore there. But yeah, I mean,
shout out to us for not giving up a foul outside of the box, because he could have been in trouble.
Have a shot.
Yeah. But Nate, I was just gonna say one thing. With the fullbacks, they've struggled. We talked about Tyrick Mitchell and Joe Ward, but both in this game were much first of all better than Everton. And for me, like Mitchell, we can talk about Mitchell as well. For me, Wardy was one of them players today where when he pressed the player rather than just sitting and waiting for the player to come and attack him, maybe that's the way to use him because he doesn't have the pace. But when he's pressing a player and doesn't give them opportunity to turn around, they don't really have much to do. Like Wardy had a pretty solid game like that.
It's what Joe Ward does, though, D. This is the thing. People look at Ward and try and compare him to the modern right back. He's not the modern right back. He's from an older era of football where, let's be honest, his main job was to defend. Bear in mind, he came to us when we just sold Natty Klein, ironically, to Southampton. So Ward's never been that bombing, marauding fullback that's going to do a Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, obviously, because Ward is at the very tail end of his career, everybody expects us to just sign a right back for the sake of it and replace Ward. But listen, today, I don't think he put a foot wrong. And people are going to hold on to these agendas of certain players. And listen, people have their agendas for a reason. That's cool, no problem. Everybody's different. I had a massive Patrick Van Aanholt agenda, and I'm still going to hold on to it even though he's gone. But that doesn't mean that...
What's the agenda? What's the agenda?
Well, for a left back, he was more often not left back at home. Because he was definitely not playing for left back for us.
I think that was facts.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's more of facts, yeah.
Trust me. I don't think many people would disagree with you about
no,
that.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, look, Ward did not put a foot wrong today, but you'll still see people on Twitter, oh, Ward was rubbish. Well, oh, Ward Prowse was rubbish. Yeah, I agree with that one, but not Joe Ward. He wasn't rubbish. No, because this is the one game as a Pompey boy, he doesn't want to lose to these lot, you know. Yeah. And I do find it somewhat ironic that Chelsea kind of got moved to by them lot, but it's like, see, I really should hate Chelsea for that, but I'm like, it's kind of fitting because, you know, but we won. That's all that matters. We're 2 points off them and they're having a great season. So that tells you all you need to know. So look, we move on to West Ham next Sunday. Tricky game, always is, but listen, you never know. It's Palace.
Yeah, I just think we have to show up against West Ham. That's the most important. That's the most important thing. We can't have a similar performance to what we've done against Everton. If I know we won this game, but now let's see what we can actually do away from home because that consistency, it just hasn't been there. And I'm expecting something from the West Ham, even like whether that's performance or result. It can't just be like Everton. Otherwise, what's the point? You know, what's the point of Southampton if you have an awful performance against West Ham? But look, Nate, thank you for coming on, bro. Always a pleasure talking to you.
No, 100%, Jen. Thanks for having me.
All right, then. Pleasure, brother. Talk to you later, yeah?
Take care,
later. All right, big up.
Oh, man, we got all the Eagle Eye guys hitting us up.
Eagle Eye takeover, man. Get them both on. Put them both on. Put Jordan and Rich on. Put them both on. Put them both on. Put on Rich. Put them both on. Come on.
I don't even know how the connection...
There we go. We got both of them. Eagle Eye takeover.
You know what? We're always supporting you guys. We're always supporting you.
We appreciate it, man.
Co-show.
Let's start off with Jordan. He was waiting first before. Yeah, let's start off with Jordan. Jordan. So Palace 1, Southampton 0. Much better from the Everton game. And as I was saying to Nate and all the others, it was very good to see us actually have a fast start to the game. And I feel like that set the tone.
Oh, 100%. It's another clean sheet. Great first half. I think that's probably the best first half that I've seen us play at home. Incredible tenacity. Definitely the composure in the passing this year. I mean, in this game was great. It looked like we couldn't put a foot wrong, really. I think it's a definite special shout out to Luca. I thought he was incredible today. We did see a little bit of ring rust because we had to play the full 90. But he played the full 90. I think he was very impressive. His tackling was good. And actually, he did help out when progressing the ball forwards as well. So that's pretty impressive in my opinion. I'm very pleased with 3 points. Definitely a good way to keep this run of games going, of these games that we should be picking up points from. We've done pretty well against the last few games, so I don't see why we can't keep this going, especially without Decore, which is probably the thing that shocked all of us, that it's so Palace suspended and then get injured, which is pretty funny in my opinion, but it is what it is. Very good 3 points onto West Ham.
Yeah, exactly. Rich, look, we spoke about lots of players from the Everton game, players that didn't step up to the plate. The fullbacks were in question as well. Everyone was in question. But today, who stood out for you the most from that Everton game to this game in terms of performances?
For me, massive credit to Schlupp. reasoned off like 10 yards. So he's no longer playing that 8 role where he was just, he drifts off.
Right.
This time he was very I think that helped Luka, because Luka was outstanding, by the way. And so, I guess from a Palace point of view, I think that the only issue he had was like the first 20 minutes where we didn't adapt to Southampton's initial change, because they came up pretty strong in the second half. And it was like, oh boy, here and such. But then it was so good to see Will Hughes, by the way.
Yeah.
Just brings that calm to the park. And that's what we needed at that time, because we were under the cosh.
Yeah. Look, Jordan, there's a comment here about Joel Ward, his lack of attacking prowess. No assists from his side. Mitchell only with 2 already. Look, for me, I don't expect much from Joel Ward, because first of all, I don't think he would be our starting right back if we had Ferguson fit, which of course didn't happen, and Klein is out injured as well. So I don't expect much from him. But today, forget about his attacking prowess. I feel like he was very solid defensively. First of all, we'll start there as a right back. He struggled many games this season playing as right back. Teams have just dominated him, but he looked solid today. What did you make of his performance?
Well, yeah, he saw a hell of a lot of the ball today, and I'm very impressed with how he was doing. I think with Joel Ward, with his age, it was his birthday as well today, I think he did very well considering. I don't think he's ever been a very good attacking fullback. However, the formation change and how we set up tactically today, both fullbacks were bombing forwards. I thought we saw a definite increase in form with Mitchell specifically as well today. But when you're talking about Joel Ward, you never really expect that much attacking output. However, with what his link up with Elise today, it was completely different how it normally was. And I thought, in that sensitive game, it was very impressive to see what he was doing today, making some attacking runs, supporting Elise, and still being able to drop back and defend as well. So I think it was a very good all-around performance for him today.
Yeah, Rich, there's another player that we should talk about, and that was in midfield, Luka. As soon as it was announced, people went into meltdown. It's like, oh, Luka's starting, the core is out. But today, I don't think he had a bad performance. I thought he was relatively good, and he done his job.
Yeah.
And it's what you expect from him, which helped us massively. I know in the second half, his legs maybe caught up to him a bit more. There's instances where they just ran past, there was a gap in midfield. But overall, solid performance from Luka.
Luka deserves his flowers today. I don't want to see any Luka slander on Twitter, wherever. He was brilliant today. And like I said, I think we've got to understand with Luka, we can't play him in the pivot on his own. He needs someone with him. We do that, you get a kind of solid Luka. He's not going to give you anything amazing, but he'll do his job. Some of the blocks he made today, very, very key blocks, especially when we're under pressure. And I mean, obviously, a lot of people look to the fact that second half he may not have been that good. In a whole, I don't think he was good second half. So we can't really just target Luka. I think he was brilliant today.
Yeah, I 100% agree with the first thing that you said as well. In terms of with Luka, my problem was going into this game was Luka and Schlupp. It's not Luka by itself, but Luka and Schlupp in midfield. I don't think he has a balance. So for me, I would have preferred to have Gyro or Hughes there alongside Luka or Schlupp to add that bit of balance, because I feel like there's a weakness there. But our intensity in terms of our pressing in the first half kind of went against that, because Luka and Schlupp didn't have many defensive duties to do. We was on the front foot rather than just letting them come at us. And I feel like that it worked. But thankfully, we got out of this game with a win. Hopefully, Decore will be back next game. How are you feeling for the next game against West Ham? Because look, we're back on the same spot. We're not home. It's nice we kept the clean sheet, which we don't really do that much as well. But in the West Ham game, you're expecting now maybe a point to prove away from home, a bit of consistency, and hopefully it's going to be hard, but back-to-back win.
Yeah, spot on. Our away form's terrible. And even though Decore is coming back, I would hope we play with 2 DMs anyway. I think we just get a bit more defensive solidity. I think it allows our fullbacks to get forward more, because our issue is not so much we're not able to create anything. Our issues, we expect it to be done by just the 4 players. Eze, Edouard, Zaha and Elise. But with Mitchell and Wood bombing forward today, that created space all over the pitch. You know, and if that means we have to play 2 DMs, then so be it. We just need to get at least 4 points out of the next 2, and we're looking good before the World Cup.
And you know what, Rich, I want to add. I wouldn't be surprised next week if the Corey, apparently he's okay, that he plays the Corey and Luca with Eze in the middle next week. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I'll be happy with that.
That works for me. And that works for me, honestly. Yep, away from home. Yep.
And Luca actually does pretty good in the double pivot too. Like
he does, exactly. Much better than double
as long
pivot,
as he has someone next to him, I feel
Yep,
like
that
it
can
works.
help out.
And the reason why I think that could happen is because he spoke about it after the Everton game. Away from home, our tactics is something that we need to look at. So I'm expecting it to be a bit more balanced. Maybe not all out attack like we have done. And I think it will work. I think it will work. Even if it doesn't work, we have to change it about. Because away from home,
something.
Playing the same as we do at home, it just doesn't work.
Change.
Yeah, something has to change. But Jordan, how are you feeling about the West Ham game?
Well, when we're looking at our away games, I think just touching on what you guys said before was, mate, our pressing goes out the window completely when we're away from home. We play distinctively different to how we play at home. At home, we like to impose ourselves. We like to hold the ball. However, away, we I wouldn't say we divert back to Hodgson tactics, but we like to soak up the pressure and hit on the break, when I don't see a reason why we can't impose ourselves away from home as well. But looking at West Ham, they're a good team. We know they're a good team. They've got very good players that can harm us and that can hurt us whenever they need to. I know like the likes of Jared Bowen isn't exactly the player he was last season, but he's still a quality player. I think looking towards West Ham, we're sort of very up and down, very inconsistent at the London Stadium. So I'd like to say we can get a point out of it, especially if we can just swap with Decore, just straight swap. So, but sorry guys.
No, it's fine.
One more thing. Good news about next week is that the game's in London. I mean, now Edouard can only score in London, so hopefully he'll get a couple of goals next week. Right,
he might freaking pull off a hat trick.
Certain people, certain strikers forget about London. They just don't get goals. But yeah, hopefully Edouard can get a few goals.
That's unnecessary, man.
Every chance he gets, he's gonna take his shot.
Unnecessary. That's unnecessary, man. Have some class, man.
That was unnecessary from Patrick.
It wasn't. I'm being serious. It's a fact. He's got 9 goals all scored in the borough of London.
Patrick wasn't taking a slight though. Patrick was saying that. Patrick was saying that
unlike
good chance of doing better.
Right. Unlike you, D, I've given Edouard tons of credit for what he's done. You give him Mateta none. So don't give me that about unlike some strikers. That's disrespectful. Rich is home.
All right, Rich and Jordan, let's get your score prediction for West Ham game before you go.
Up to 2-1 Palace.
2-1 Palace, Jordan.
Okay.
Are you sticking with a Palace win?
John's on mute.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, sorry, I was walking under the tunnel. I have no idea what happened.
No, that's cool. It's cool. So in terms of score prediction, quickly for the West Ham game, what are you going with?
I think normally we couldn't keep a clean sheet even if we tried, but we held on very well today. I still think it'll be, 2-1 Palace. I think that we haven't. I think the only game we've actually beaten someone by more than 1 goal is Villa when we won 3-1. Every other win has been only by 1 goal. So I'd say that West Ham have better players to hurt us. So I do think that we'd have to score more than 1 compared to Southampton. So I say 2-1. I think that's a fair score prediction for us.
Yeah, look, both of you, Rich and Jordan, 2-1 Palace. Hopefully we get it. But look, gents, make sure to check out, thank you for coming on, and make sure to check out Eagle Eye Football as well. Loads of Palace content on there, so head over there as well for their reaction.
Yeah, check out the fan cams tonight because we got Richard Riakporhe on. So that's
nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
All right,
that's
right
really
on,
cool.
Man.
I like that.
Check that out for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. Go check out Eagle Eye Football. And thank you, Rich and Jordan, for coming on as well.
Appreciate you guys. Take care, all right?
Appreciate it.
Cheers, man. Subscribe to Back of the Nest.
All right, take care.
Appreciate that. See you later.
The thing I think about this match, man, that I really like is that you think about it. It's like we played from the front. We got out and had a good first half, which we haven't been doing. Played from the front. Saw out a win. Got a clean sheet.
Got a clean sheet.
Like when you think about that, like that's what you want, man. You want to
Yeah.
on the front. You want to see out wins. You want to get clean sheets. Like
You want to see though in the second half. The thing I'm not mad about is because we don't have the players right now. But in the second half, you'd want to see that first half performance, especially with the pressing, a bit more in the second half. In the second half, it got a bit more easier for them. They managed to find a way through. But then again,
they made adjustments though. Like they made good adjustments though.
Thank you, T. I mean, that's why I hate when people do that, D. I think you have to give the other team credit. Man City did against us. You got to give teams credit for making adjustments. That's why they get paid all the money to manage a team. This isn't working. Vieira does it. Sometimes we come back and win, and other teams do it against us. Luckily, Hasselhoff's changes did not work for him, but he made adjustments, which is why they were on the front foot more, pressured us more, but we saw it out. But you got to give credit more to the other team because they get paid the same way.
To be the devil's advocate, we can also make adjustments to match
but being the devil's advocate to your devil's advocate though, the harder thing is to try and figure out what the other team's gonna do when they come out.
Right.
No,
you know
but to be your devil's advocate to your devil's advocate, you could when that team does do
where
that,
is this conversation going?
Anyways, the devil's advocate.
We want to double back to the double back before the double back. What we gonna say is
right, exactly.
Yeah. But look, I'm not mad about the second half. Like, all right, we wasn't as great as first half, but we didn't have the players first and foremost to start that game. So I'll take the win, and I'll take the first half performance.
Hey, I'm with Anthony Allen. Anthony first. No, put that back up. Don't you dare take that off. First, Anthony Allen, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe. But as you said, Anthony, D, you gotta let the Everton result go, my man. It's in the past. Let it go. Let it go.
No.
You know the song? You have any? You don't have the kid, like you don't have the get.
Let it go.
Right?
Let
exactly,
it go.
right.
No. That's let's know.
Let it go.
Oh, that one. Yeah, Frozen.
Yeah, Frozen. Now you do what? You are a kid. I forgot you were a kid.
Yeah. I watch Frozen in my own spare time.
But
look, I 100% understand where you're coming from, but I've seen it too many times. Leicester away from home, one shot on target. We could have easily lost that game. Everton, we saw it as well. The reason why I'm not letting it go is because that's what I feel like is holding us back. Now, I will let it go. Hold up, Patrick. I will let it go.
Right.
Depending on what happens in West Ham. West Ham, if we change and it's not the same all the way from home, fair enough. But for me, we won this game. Right. We win at home. But the next game, that's what matters more important for me. And I said this even before the Southampton game.
You did. Well. And you've been consistent, all right? But this is what I'm going to say to you. What if it's the kind of season where we're great at home and average or pouring away? What are you going to do about that? Because that's happened before.
It's not good enough still. Yeah, but it's not good
enough.
Well,
I'm saying that because remember, I think it was last season when you and Nick were going on a trip, you were saying how bad it was away. Remember that? You never went away.
Yeah, that was at the start. It didn't really count.
It was the start. It turned around. It turned around. My point was, though, it could turn around. Could it turn around last year? Remember
I know. But you expect then again, it's
I get
hard
it.
for me to say this, but you expect better in the second season than the first season.
Love it.
We're gonna get copyrighted, T.
Last yeah,
exactly.
I love it.
It's gonna end the stream without us even ending it.
Less than 15 seconds. We won't get DCM. We done less than 15 seconds.
I will let it go. Depending on West Ham, because there's no point on me getting carried away if we have the same away performance. But look,
we get it, D. We get it.
Yeah, we'll be back.
If we get a mediocre performance and a tie, I'm cool.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Points. I'll take 2 points next 2 games. Two away draws and a win against Newcastle.
All depends on the performance.
No, it doesn't. Not for me. It's all about the points.
Fair enough.
I'm being honest.
Patrick takes the points. But look, we'll be talking about points. We'll be talking about performances and away from home and all of them stuff in our match preview for the West Ham game. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you to everyone who's joined us live. Thank you to everyone from Eagle Eyed and Chris and Elena as well, and Henry, and also all of you that's joined us live and sent your comments throughout the show. Thank you. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to not miss out on future Palace content. And until next time, up the Palace.
Eagles.